Okay, picture this. Right now in Washington, the clocks are showing exactly midnight. The Pentagon is officially greenlighting one of the most audacious secret operations ever conceived. There's this emergency meeting happening at the White House, and a single file gets placed right in front of the president. The intelligence inside? It's alarming. China and Russia are building a brand new intelligence base in Cuba, and it's pointed straight at America. The president, stays silent for just a few seconds and then makes the final monumental decision: prepare Delta Force. Welcome to today's Explainer. We're digging into a completely fascinating tactical scenario from the plot twist files, breaking down exactly how an operation of this magnitude would be orchestrated right from the ground up.
To really wrap our heads around the sheer complexity of a mission like this, we're going to treat it like a declassified military case study. So here is our agenda. First up, green-lighting the operation. Second, cultivating the inside network. Third, setting the tactical trap. Fourth, breaching the fortress. Fifth, the extraction protocol. And number 6, the final verdict.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, green-lighting the operation, the midnight authorization. The primary objective here is to capture Cuba's dictator alive, using Guantanamo Bay as the staging ground. Near midnight, this massive C-17 touches down, totally disguised as just a routine logistics flight. But inside, it's packed with Delta Force. And get this, thanks to some fresh CIA intel, they know the target's weekend routine is actually highly predictable, which, in tactical operations, is pretty much a fatal weakness.
But hey, getting to him? That is absolutely no walk in the park. 10. That's the number of highly trained Cuban Revolutionary Guards protecting what is essentially a mini fortress. You've got 8 armed guards outside, 2 fixed at the main gate, 3 patrolling the perimeter, and 3 just hanging out in the backyard. Inside, a 2-man personal protection team literally never leaves the dictator's side. Plus, the whole neighborhood is completely wired with state security, police connections, cameras, and civilian intelligence agents. It's a tough nut to crack.
Section 2, cultivating the inside network, exploiting the cracks. Because, you don't just blindly breach a fortress like that. The CIA has to start exploiting societal cracks first. We're talking power outages, food scarcity, a totally collapsing economy. They use all of this to flip insiders who are right at the very top of the regime.
Now, what's really fascinating here is the specific profile of the informants the CIA actually manages to turn. Think about these 3 key assets. First, a trusted official in the upper government who's secretly been sending signals for months that he wants CIA contact. Second, a Havana bureaucrat who heavily influences local administration and has known the dictator's private residence plans for literally years. And third, a sidelined politician from the inner circle who was recently pushed aside and is pretty angry about it. These 3 share a deadly combination. They are angry and they are fragile. And the CIA, they know exactly how to exploit that.
All of this intelligence gathering leads up to a highly clandestine meeting. It's 11 p.m. at this small port near Cuba's western coast, way outside Havana. A vehicle that's disguised as a fishing boat rolls up to the shore. Inside, 2 CIA agents in plain clothes. The sideline politician walks up and the exchange goes down. A bag of cash, a U.S. passport, and a shiny new identity, all traded for a single envelope. And inside that envelope, a hand-drawn map detailing the entire interior layout of the dictator's private residence, the exact blind spots for the security cameras, and his strict nighttime routine.
Section 3, setting the tactical trap, creating the window. Back at Guantanamo, Delta Force overlays this fresh intel. Suddenly, the blind spots, the entry points, the exact exit coordinates, they all become crystal clear. The day of the operation is officially set. Now they just need the perfect window to strike.
So, how exactly do you create that window? Well, it's all about localized distraction. A few hours before go time, Delta Force's contacts literally pay off locals in the neighborhood to just drive around and make a bunch of noise. This draws the attention of the local patrol vehicles. Step 2, the CIA's technical team remotely hacks the electricity distribution. The power goes out, comes back on, goes out again. In Cuba, that's such a routine thing that citizens just grumble about it. Nobody even suspects a military op. Finally, one of those compromised politicians calls in a fake report on another street, dispatching the civilian police far away from the outer ring. This meticulously carves out exactly what Delta Force needs: a clean 2-hour operational gap.
But that raises a massive, absolutely crucial logistical question. Even with the police distracted and the power completely fluctuating, how do 16 heavily armed operators approach a fortress completely unnoticed?
The answer? Hiding in plain sight. The team rolls up in 2 old, totally standard Cuban streetcars, the kind you see everywhere. But packed inside are 16 Delta operators,
getting real-time intelligence from the CIA piped directly into their earpieces, and every single operator has a helmet camera streaming the whole shebang live to Washington. They stop just 300 meters from the target. Before they even move on the house, 2 operators silently approach a parked car at the corner of the neighborhood and take down 2 civilian police officers inside, perfectly securing their escape route.
Section 4. Breaching the fortress, the 2:30 a.m. assault. The outer ring is completely broken. The CIA cuts the local grid entirely, plunging the whole neighborhood into pitch darkness. The team splits up, and the real action begins. Navigating entirely through night vision goggles, the operators move in fast. Now, the house has a backup generator, meaning its cameras are actually still on, but the front team immediately hits them with a signal jammer. The cameras don't shut off, but the images freeze, and the guards' radios get hit with heavy static. In a perfectly synchronized move, the back team drops the 3 backyard guards with crossfire before they even know it hit them. At the exact same time, the front team breaches the main entrance and takes out the gate guards from behind. One patrolling guard notices, tries his jammed radio, and fires off a shot, but Delta Force neutralizes him after a really short firefight.
Inside the house, that gunfire causes total panic. And this brilliantly illustrates how the intel from that hand-drawn map paid off. The dictator's personal protection team triggers their absolute worst-case scenario protocol, smuggling him out through a secret underground tunnel that only his inner circle knows about. The dictator thinks he's pulling off a flawless escape, but Delta Force already knows all about the tunnel. As he's rushed down the hidden staircase, he doesn't find his own men waiting. Nope, he walks straight into a trap, coming face-to-face with Delta Force's second team right at the exit.
And right here is where the absolute biggest twist of the night goes down. One of his close guards reaches for a weapon to fight back, but the other personal guard, he just steps back. That guard, a guy who had stood by the dictator's side for years in every top-secret meeting, had actually been working for Delta Force from the very beginning. The dictator realizes it's all over. He's captured alive.
Section 5. The extraction protocol, smuggling the target. So the target is secured, but remember, they are still deep inside Havana. The transit vehicle moves out immediately through the dark streets. Thanks to all those earlier distractions, the civilian intelligence network is totally blind, and the patrol vehicles are busy across town. Literally nobody comes to stop them. The whole extraction runs on this incredibly strict timeline. At 2:30 a.m., the breach is complete, and the transit vehicle leaves the city completely clean. Out on the road, they hit a predetermined transfer point and load the dictator into a specially adjusted, low-altitude helicopter. To dodge Cuban radar, this chopper flies basically skimming the water until it leaves territorial waters behind. Exactly 3 hours later, it touches down safely back at Guantanamo Bay, where the target is loaded right onto that waiting C-17. The operational aftermath, it's an absolute tactical masterclass. Out of 16 operators, 14 are completely uninjured. 0 casualties, just 2 minor injuries, one in the shoulder, one in the leg, and both were easily patched up right in the field. The mission to capture the dictator is a 100% success.
Section 6. The final verdict, the reality check.
Okay, you might be thinking, the planning, the execution, the use of local assets, the synchronized breach, it's almost cinematic in its perfection, right? Well, there's a very good reason for that. Because, as the source material from the plot twist files reveals, this entire meticulously detailed operation is actually a completely fictional what-if scenario. Yeah, no way. In reality, no such operation is currently happening. It's a thought experiment. It's designed to make us ask, if the military really had to pull off the impossible, what exactly would it look like?
But honestly, even as a fictional scenario, this is a total masterclass in hypothetical tactics and logistics. Analyzing high-stakes scenarios like this one really matters. It helps us wrap our heads around the real-world complexities of intelligence gathering, how fragile political regimes can actually be, the sheer logistical nightmare of urban operations, and how modern military planning relies just as much on hacking a power grid as it does on firing a weapon. Which leaves us with a truly fascinating thought to end on today. If this meticulously crafted plan was just a scenario drawn up for tactical analysis, what highly classified, deeply covert operations are successfully happening around the world right now that we won't even hear about for decades? Thanks for hanging out with me for today's Explainer. Keep asking questions, and I'll catch you next time.